right, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 7:01 p.m. on October 14th. And before I move to approval of the meeting minutes, I'm going to just introduce myself and everyone as I go around. I think there's someone else that's trying to get in. Do you see it, Emily?
Yeah, I just let her in.
Okay. So my name's Caroline Kinsella. I'm the health director in Milton. Emily?
My name's Emily Connors. I'm the assistant health director.
Jean?
Hi, I'm Jean. I'm the clerk for the Board of Health.
Roxanne?
Hi, I'm Roxanne Musto. I'm the chair of the Board of Health.
Laura?
Laura Richards, Secretary of the Board of Health.
Mary? You're on mute, Mary.
Mary Stenson, member of Board of Health.
Mr. Blake?
Jeffrey Blake, Town Council.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Blake.
It's my
And
pleasure.
thank you. I see also that Mr. Richard Joyce is here and he's representing 5-9 Thatcher. Thank you. Okay, so moving along to number 2 is approval of the September 8th, 2025 meeting minutes. Board, have you had a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any corrections that you'd like to let me know
No.
about?
None that I see.
Same.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of September 8th, the 2nd.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Board. Number 3 is citizen speak. Do we have anyone here tonight that would like to speak at Citizen Speak? There's a few people that are on. We may limit it to just a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, if anyone would like to speak at Citizen Speak. You can just raise your hand. Yeah, I see Miss Margie Skier. If you'd like to say something, Margie.
Yes, I would. Hi, everyone. It's really appreciate being able to speak this evening. My name is Margie Skier, and I am speaking on behalf of myself as a resident of Milton. I am in District 7, and I am speaking on behalf of the alcohol bylaw this evening. There are other concerned public health citizens on the call this evening as well, and many of us have been talking about the importance of the bylaws to have strict parameters around what will be allowed when alcohol is allowed to be consumed and purchased on town property. With the bylaws as they are currently written, we have significant concerns that there are not enough safeguards in place around being able for youth to be able to purchase and consume. There were recommendations around wristbands and to have separate areas around for consumption. And it does not seem that those bylaws, that these parameters are being included in the bylaws. And we believe that this has really important implications for the health and safety of youth, as well as the health of adults in town. And I wanted to see Deborah and Susan, if you had anything else that you wanted to add.
Can you raise your hand, Deborah or Susan? Would you like to speak at Citizen Speak?
Okay. Well, may I continue then if they don't want to add anything? So I'm also speaking on behalf of myself as a public health professional and expert. I am a professor of public health and community medicine at the Tufts University School of Medicine. I'm also the department chair, and I have been in the field of adolescent substance use prevention for over 20 years. I'm also a member of the Milton Coalition. And I just want to be really clear about the lack of safeguards are really going to create issues around youth in our town for a lot of different reasons, but primarily when we don't have specific demarcation around alcohol, we absolutely increase the risk that young people are going to be using. And second, the more that we sort of allow intermingling and mixing of youth and adults in public land and open spaces, we're really risking the increased norms around drinking. The coalition and the town has just made incredible strides over the last decade around reducing youth drinking in town, and we want to make sure that this is continues to be the case. And so I would really implore the Board of Health to be thinking about how it can support having safeguards in place around the alcohol bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you, Margie. Is there anyone else that would like to speak at Citizen Speak? You have about 3 minutes if you'd like to say something. I see someone else who has come in. I don't know who Laurie is, or if she'd like to speak. Or Jill Clark. Would anyone else like to speak? Raise your hand. So seeing no one else raise their hand, then we will move on. Thank you. Thank you, Margie. Okay, so I'm closing the Citizen Speak portion, and we're going to move on to 5-9 Thatcher Street. Discussion of violations, correction order, and potential vote to condemn this property. 105 CMR 410. Minimum standards of fitness for human habitation 410. 650 F condemnation, order to vacate, order to secure. And I'll give a little bit of history about this property. 5-9 Thatcher Street. This property first came to the health department's attention December 7th, 2020. At that time, we had a complaint from a neighbor, and my staff went out at that time, and there was multiple structural elements that were not weather tight. There was rubbish at the site, tires, refuse. The property was not maintained. And so at that time, we sent out a correction order, and actually Newman and Newman did come to our board meeting, and all the rubbish was picked up, the tires, there was trees that were down, everything was secured and fenced in at that time. And then 5 years later, February 20th, 2025, we had a neighbor calling again about gaps in the fence at the site. It was unsecure and safe. There was refuge in the yard again. It was secured again at that time and cleaned up. And then in June 10th, neighbors are complaining again about overgrown bushes, which could be providing havens for pests. There was a complaint from a neighbor that we went out to look. There was holes in the ground. They thought that rats might be coming from the property. I'll kind of go back and reference what other things was on June 10th. Multiple holes in the roof and siding of both structures, which wasn't protected from the wind and rain, overgrown brush and grass. The tree branches had fallen. There was a gap in the fence, broken and unsecured windows. Evidence of rodents were observed tracking holes under the fence. No water supplies, no electricity. The following conditions were found to exist in the residence that may endanger or materially impair the health, safety, or well-being of any persons or persons occupying the premises. We didn't see any persons on the premises. And as I said, the electricity and water was shut off. Structures and property deemed to endanger the health and well-being of persons. And after 30 days, we did contact the owners to say it had been 30 days on this last correction order. And they did go back and they put plywood up on the windows, they secured the fence, and they cleaned the area at that time. Today, I went again to look at the property. And it looks like they did a little bit more cleaning of the property and securing the both of the structures with more plywood. And I also got a email from let's see, Mr. Dennis Greenwood. And it was also from Mr. Richard Joyce sent it to me, who's with Newman and Newman. And I like to read it to the board. So this came in this afternoon. It says, to whom it may concern, Sousa Design Architects has been retained and is working with ETB Enterprises LLC on the proposed development of 9-11 Thatcher Street in Milton. The existing site is 16,750 square feet with 2 existing structures. The proposed project includes the demolition of the existing structures and new construction of 7 townhouse dwelling units within 2 new structures. Sousa Design and ETB Enterprises anticipate having preliminary plans and renderings prepared within the next few weeks to share with the town. And if you have any questions or further comments, don't hesitate to contact Dennis Greenwood. I know, board, you've seen all the pictures and you've seen the correction order. I don't know if you want to pull that up, Emily. Maybe I will if I can share, so everyone can see what's going on at that property. Let's see. Let me share the screen.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen. I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah. Let's see here. Just lost you. Go back. Use the correction order. Let me share this. So can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So this is the June 10th correction order. Overgrown bushes, potential injuries, tree branches fallen, broken and unsecured windows, evidence of rodents, no electricity, structures and property deemed to endanger the health and safety of well-being of the person, just to show some of these pictures. Holes in the siding across both properties. Holes in the siding of the roof where it connects. Overgrown brush and grass throughout the property. Unsecured fences, broken windows, rodents, tracks and burrows. So, Mr. Blake, would you like to speak, or would the board like to speak first about this property? And the potential to condemn the property tonight?
Well, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say first, and then the gentleman who's here. I'd like to hear from both of them, you know, what options there are and what the process is for, it sounds like they're looking at doing some structures there. So, you know, if it's condemned versus not condemned, that type of thing. How
Thank
this
you,
would go
Madam
forward.
Chair.
Yeah.
I'm happy to jump in here. As you may or may not know, my name is Jeff Blake. We recently took over as town council, and I do an awful lot of this Board of Health work. So, what are your options here? Okay, there is case law out there that says even if a building is abandoned, it's still subject to the state sanitary code if there's a residential component to it. That's how you have the Attorney General's program for vacant buildings, where they come in and require them to be brought up to code. You could require this building to be brought up to code if it's not brought up to code, you could go to court and you could ask for an appointment of a receiver that would go step into the shoes of the owner and bring the entire building up to code, including water, electricity, et cetera, et cetera. So you could condemn it today if you I think you may have to renotice or do a different notification. I'll leave that to the health director. I'm not 100% sure how it was noticed, but in any event, a condemnation would result in having to board and secure the building so that nobody could go in uninvited, and that would require plywooding up the wall, the windows, the doors, fixing the fence to the satisfaction of the Board of Health, making it, rather than some temporary repairs, making legitimate repairs. You could also require them to hire an exterminator, get an exterminator in there, all the while it's boarded and secured. You could also today, rather than condemning it, you could simply ask the owners if they are willing to do at least boarding and securing the building, at least trimming back some of the overgrowth and the brush, at least getting some type of exterminator in there to get rid of what could be rats or other animals that are in there, and to clean up the yard. Now, I'm looking at the holes in the building. I'm looking at what looks like brush and the like. You could ask them to clean all of that up, or you can order them to clean all of that up without condemning the building. Now, it's my understanding from reading this letter that this property may be scheduled to actually be, I think they said they were going to put 7 townhouse units in 2 new buildings. So that connotes that makes me think that they're going to demo these buildings. So I think you could also sit here and listen to what the owners have for plans and make your order accordingly. But I think at a minimum, you have a building that could be open to the public, or it's an attractive nuisance for kids, for the homeless, for people that just go in and just get in there and maybe live in there and start fires in there and the like. And the yard it looks like it's strewn with brush and other debris. So I think at a minimum, you could make that order, listen to what the owner has to say. And if they are in fact getting ready to demolish it, while I think you have the authority to require them to go in and bring the property up to code, I think you also have the discretion to figure out whether or not you're asking for something that's going to be torn down in a month and a half, 2 months.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Blake. Mr. Joyce?
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My clients, both the current owner of the property and EBT Development, are looking to finally develop the property. And to address some of the questions that I'm sure is some of the background, why has it taken so long for this development? There were multiple partners involved in the ownership. One has since been bought out, which was a process as far as organizing the right path going forward. So the owners are now investing time and money and getting this property to where they want it to be. As far as the alleged violations, they have gone back in, they have reboarded everything. I've spoken with the health director on a couple of occasions. We are going to hire or either have or are going to either today or tomorrow. I'm a little unclear, but we will have monthly pest control there. Everything has been boarded. It's been cleaned up. The fence has been resecured. This is not a danger to the public right now. And this is just a process of getting things organized so that we can submit. We don't know if we'll need zoning relief. There is a likelihood that these buildings will be raised in any event, but that is not 100% certain at this point, so I don't want to represent that to the board and then come back and say, oh, well, we're going to use part of it. I believe the current plan is to demolish the two, but the owners want to make very clear that they want the building to be secure. They want the fence to remain in place, and they want to make sure that there's no rodents there. I suggest that we maybe continue this for 6 weeks to allow them to apply, whether it be through the building department or for any necessary planning or zoning relief that may be necessary to move this property forward.
Thank you, Mr. Joyce. Board? Would you like to say anything?
I will, sure. I would be more inclined to do something, not do the condemnation, but make sure that everything is secure, that the pest control is there. Because I mean, I think right now that's really what we're worried about, right? Is, making sure that nobody can get in there and, or a fire, if there was a fire that, somebody's going in there. We just don't want that to happen. So I would be more inclined not to condemn, but to ensure that all of the provisions are taken care of in terms of, making it so it's, maybe cleaning up the yard a little bit, securing the building. I think that's very important. And the rodent control. I would say those things are very important. And then just have our Board of Health agent go out there and make sure that's done. And in the meantime, we could, consider, continuing this more to the next meeting, which usually is in 4 to 6 weeks anyway. But that's how I would feel about it. I would feel comfortable with that.
I would second that, Roxanne.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think if we can make sure a potential doesn't turn to an actual in any form is the right thing to do. Considering there's some processes going on behind the scenes that will end up remedying, hopefully, some of the problems.
So what I'm hearing is that you want this continued. We can discuss this again in 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks at our next board meeting. If Mr. Joyce can please send me the pest control reports monthly, that would be appreciated. Mr. Blake, would you like to say anything else?
Briefly, I think you should probably order the pest control rather than leave it up to this is what we're going to do. I think you could order the pest control and order them to provide you with a monthly report and continue this matter till your next meeting. And I don't know, if it's 6 weeks, great. If it isn't, whatever it is.
Okay.
Would we also need to, I know they said they've secured the building, but we also need to put that in the order, Attorney Blake?
I think that wouldn't hurt. I think that's probably a pretty good idea as well, is to, I move to order them to secure the building, to continually keep the fence in repair, and to have a professional exterminator at the property and exterminate whatever vermin may be there and provide us with a monthly update on the, they give you a report, the exterminator report.
Great, thank you.
Would you like to make a motion with what Mr. Blake said? Or is that the motion and you'll second it?
You can just move, you can just say so moved if you would like.
Yeah,
So
I would,
moved,
so moved that motion.
Okay,
Are we all in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Because we are on Zoom, I think you have to do a roll call vote on those.
Karen, do you want to announce us?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Mr. Blake.
Because we're on Zoom, a hybrid, we have to do roll call votes. All votes should be roll call.
Okay, so Laura,
I vote
yes.
yes.
Okay, Mary
I vote yes.
and myself, yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Joyce. Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Thank you
Thank you.
both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Okay. Okay, so moving on to number 5 on our agenda. Discussion of warrant Article 7 to see if the town will vote to amend Chapter 105 alcoholic beverages of the general bylaws. So Article 7 is a select board article to see if the town will vote to amend Chapter 105 alcoholic beverages of the general bylaws by amending Section 105(1), consumption on town property. So the warrant committee chair, Jay Funling, and members Andrew Coe and Nick Tagney reached out to myself and Roxanne, our chair, Roxanne Musto, to find out if the Board of Health did or did not support the article. After speaking individually to each board member and chair, the consensus is that they are in favor of Article 7 and support it as written. The warrant committee has also been in contact with the Chamber of Commerce and the Milton Arts Center, who are both supportive of this article. This article has safeguards, which are noted: ID, identification, liability insurance, trained tips, which is training for intervention purposes, program and police details, and additional requirements. One-day licenses shall only be issued to individuals or organizations under contract to utilize an entity possessing a caterer's license, wristbands, a sketch plan. And then the select board may add, depending on the town land, require the alcohol sales and consumption take place only in a location to be designated for the purpose on the site plan. And after talking to all of the Board of Health members and the chair, the Board of Health is in favor of the guidelines and provisions that are detailed in Article 7 as written. Would you like to have any more discussion about this, board?
I would say no. I think it was well vetted between the warrant committee and select board. So I feel comfortable with the way that it's written and the safeguards in place.
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
Mary?
I agree with that as well, to uphold the select board's decision.
Okay. All right, thank you, board. All right, we'll move along to Health Director's report then. See if I can find it here. Yeah, here it is. I know Roxanne is coming in. We have a healthcare capacity audit letter. We're sending another letter to the state, to the governor and the state representatives. We printed the letter out, and if you'd like to come in and sign it, Roxanne, I believe it's all in your packets too, if you wanted to,
Sure.
review that or change any language. But I think the board has looked at that and approved it. And so if you can come in and sign that, that'd be great. Roxanne will send that out.
Sure.
This week.
Thank you. And
then I spoke to Town Administrator Nick Milano. We're still waiting to get the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office. They have the MOU for the scholarships for sober living, and Town Council is reviewing that right now. Town Council is also reviewing a Curry contract, and hopefully they'll have that reviewed by tomorrow. And that's to have Curry nurses help us at our flu clinics. So they're reviewing that language also. Just an update on 68 Smith Road. The asbestos work has been completed inside the building. So that's good. The opioid abatement grant was released, and Emily advertised it on social media. We sent it to the Times, the Milton schools, department heads, and posted it on our webpage. So we gave a deadline of November 30th. I don't think anyone's called about it to inquire, but it just went out last week. So we're hopeful that we'll get a couple of people that apply for that grant. And then International Overdose Awareness Day, it's like a part 2 to our event previously. We're having that on October 20th. It's at the library. It's honoring the memory of loved ones who have passed away from opioid overdose. So far, we've had almost a dozen residents submit photos. And so it's going to be like a photo gallery. And there's a little story underneath that. We'll have people's photos. We're also going to have resources available. There's going to be some residents speaking about their lived experiences. And so we're looking forward to that. That's next Monday.
Caroline, quick question on that. What
Sure.
time is that from and what room is that in? Is it in the Keys room?
So it's not in the Keys room. It's in the smaller room. We couldn't get the Keys room because there
Okay.
was some event going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the smaller room. I don't know if there's a name to that smaller room, but it's downstairs in the basement. And we're going to have the photos, the resources. We're going to have a light dinner, like pizzas and refreshments and stuff. And that's where.
What time is that from?
Speaking 6:30 to
sorry.
8.
6:30 to 8. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. And then we have our seasonal flu clinics that are starting this week. Tomorrow we're going to start our employees clinic, and then the week after we've got 2 scheduled for townwide, which are both at the Council on Aging, the 22nd and the 23rd from 4 to 6. And then we have our last one at the Pierce School, and that's October 29th from 4 to 6. We also had a clinic at Pine Tree Brook, and we had 28 residents who came to that flu clinic. We have the Drug Take Back Day, which is coming up also at the Milton Police Station, and that's October 25th. That's on a Saturday. It's from 10 to 1, and Ann and I are going to be staffing that. And also speaking about the camps, so Sue and I went to both Curry College and Milton Academy, and we met with Stephen Lamb at Curry, Kim Smith at Milton Academy, to discuss and reiterate that we needed all the required documentation 2 weeks prior to the camp opening, and they agreed with that. So they are on board with that. So going forward next year, we'll contact them again in the spring, reiterate that, but they were definitely on board with that. The camps are not opening unless they provide all the material 2 weeks before. I think that's anything else, Emily, that I'm missing? I think that's it. I don't think that any other questions, board? If there's anything else? The flu shots, lives remembered, were renewed. I think that's it.
How many,
Is it
just a
flu-
quick question. How many flu shots did you get this year? And what was the division in terms of the, the over 65 and the regular flu shots versus, for kids and things like that? What was your breakdown on that?
That's a good question. I can only tell you probably 250 doses we got from the state for the Pierce clinics, and that's for the children.
Okay.
For the high dose, maybe about 140 of the high dose. And for the regular, between 200 and 300. We decreased it from last year because we didn't get as many people last year, which was disappointing. I think people were just wary about the vaccine, or I'm getting texts all the time from CVS to get the vaccine. So we just didn't have a lot of people uptake, a lot of uptake at the clinic. So we're hoping that'll be a little bit better this year. And if not, then we're going to have to decrease it again. So I'll have all the numbers by the end of the month.
Okay. I guess we should be looking at a date for our next meeting. Is there anything coming up in terms of sewer or septic issues? I mean, septic issues, not sewer, septic, that you foresee? Okay.
I don't see anything.
And then we have town meeting coming up.
Yeah.
That's on the 27th.
Okay. Yeah. So we're looking into November.
Right.
Do you want to keep it on the Monday or the Tuesday? Let's see.
Either works for me.
17th, 24th.
I probably wouldn't do the 24th just because it's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, the
Oh,
17th
yeah,
is
great.
So I'd either do the 17th or the
Yeah.
18th.
17th works.
17th looks good. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
17th is good.
Okay. So November 17th. Are we thinking a Zoom meeting on the 17th?
Mhm,
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Are we
So,
required to start having in-person meetings at any time?
Not right now.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. With that, it's 7:37. We can adjourn the meeting. If that's
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
agreeable.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good
Adjourning of the
night.
meeting. Thank you
Good
very much. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.